So next, we're going to now look at addition and subtraction of fractions. Okay, now from your primary from your grade school knowledge, most times we have very simple fractions like 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2. This kind of fraction, they have the same denominator. All we need to do is to take the common denominator and just add the numerator the way it is, 1 plus 1. That gives us 2 over 2, which can give us 1. Okay, if we have something like 3 over 7 plus 1 over 7. The denominators are the same. To solve this, we just take the common denominator and add numerators just the way they are, and then 3 plus 1 will give us 4 over 7. See, very simple if the denominators are the same, but that is not the case every time. Okay, this also works for subtraction. For instance, if we have 5 over 8 minus 1 over 8. Okay, exactly the same thing. Take the common denominator, okay, and then write the numerator exactly the way they are, 5 minus 1. Okay, so 5 minus 1 is 4 over 8, which you can reduce. 4 can divide itself 1, 4 can divide it to give us 2, so we have 1 over 2. Okay, so 5 over 8 minus 1 over 8 gives us 1 over 2. So how about when we do not have the same denominators? In that case, we are going to write what we call equivalent fractions. And equivalent fractions mean we can multiply numerator and denominator by the same number, or we can divide numerator and denominator by the same number. So take for instance 1 over 2. Okay, if I multiply this by 2 and multiply this by the same number 2, I'm going to have 2 over 4. So it means that 1 over 2 is the same thing as 2 over 4. Okay, if I have 3 over 4 and I multiply this by the same number, 3 times over 3, uh, 3 times 3 will give me 9, and 4 times 3 will give me 12. So 3 over 4 is the same thing as 9 over 12. Look, anytime we multiply and divide a fraction by the same, once is the same number, the fraction you get is equivalent to the other fraction. Okay, so we can use this idea. Okay, so let's say we have 1 over 7, okay, plus 3 over 14. Let's say we have 1 over 7 plus 3 over 14 and we want to solve. Okay, one way to do this is to make this 7 to have a denominator of 14. Then we use the initial method to solve. So you can see, what do we need to multiply 7 with to get 14? We know that 7 times 2 is 14. So if we multiply this by 2 and multiply this by 2, remember, we must use the same number to multiply up and down for it to be an equivalent fraction. Otherwise, you've changed the value of the fraction. All right, so since it is 2 that will make this 7 to be 14, also use that to multiply numerator. So it means that 1 over 7 is 1 over 7 is the same thing as 2 over 14. So if we want to write 1 over 7 with a denominator of 14, you write it as 2 over 14, which means that this fraction now becomes 2 over 14 plus 3 over 14. You see something now? Both of the denominators are now the same. Since the denominators are not the same, we now use the normal method, which you pick one of the denominators and then we have 2 plus 3. That gives us 5 over 14. Okay, so this is a very simple way to also add or subtract by writing the denominator to be equivalent. Okay, this idea of writing equivalent fractions have been transformed into some basic steps. Okay, so if we have, let's say, 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2, okay, in this case, what we can do is to find the LCM, okay, of the denominators, and very simply, to find LCM, write these two denominators and then look for a number that can divide these two numbers at the same time. If you cannot find, look for a number that can divide each of them one at a time. Okay, so for instance here, 2 and 3, there is no number that can divide 2 and 3 at the same time. So let's look for a number that can divide either 2 or 3. If we start with 2, 2 cannot divide 3. Write your 3 down because we could not divide it. Okay, 2 divide 2, we have 1. Then we can now use 3 to divide. If 3 divides 3, we have 1, and then we still have 1 here. So after you're done with your division, once you have 1 here and here, multiply those numbers we use to divide. So here is 2 times 3, that gives us 6, which means the LCM is 6. Okay, now there are two ways you can make use of this 6. The former way to write as equivalent fraction. So let me show you how to do that. So now we know that our LCM is equal to 6. How do we make this to have a denominator of 6 and a denominator of 6? What do? We know that 3 times 2 is 6. Use that same 2 to multiply numerator. How do we make 2 to be 6? 2 times 3 is 6. Also make the numerator multiply it by 3 because we use 3 to multiply. So what do we have? 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 2 is 6, and then plus 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6. What do you notice again? We have the same denominators. So we pick one of the denominator and then add the numerator the way they are. 2 plus 3 is 5 all over 6. Okay. So we have 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2 to give us 5 over 6. So this is very good writing equivalent fractions. But like I said, this idea of equivalent fractions have been, would I say, compressed into a few steps. So what we could have done, or what many people know how to do, 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2, since we know that our LCM is, since we know that our LCM is equal to 6, what we now do is use the first denominator, use this first denominator, divide the LCM. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. We now use that 2 to multiply the numerator. See that divide the LCM by the first denominator, whatever you get, use it to multiply the numerator. So it's like saying, what are we going to use to multiply 3 to get 6, which is this same idea. Okay, that is 2. Use that same 2 to multiply the numerator. So what we have is 2 times 1 giving us 2, plus in the other instance, so for the other denominator, we use 2 to divide 6. If 6 is divided by 2, we have 3. Use that 3 to multiply the numerator. Okay, so 3 times 1 gives us 3. So you can see we are still getting the same thing that we got here. So the ideas are all the same. 2 plus 3 gives us 5 all over 6. All right. So now we're going to take some example. Now that we know the basics of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, let's take this example. Let's see this example. In this example, it says simplify, simplify 10 whole number 2 over 5 minus 6 whole number 2 over 3 plus 3. Okay. Okay, so we are to simplify this. So in this case, what are we going to do? We have a denominator of 5, a denominator of 3. All right, and then we need to find the LCM. But before we do that, these questions are mixed fractions. So if you're very conversant, you can solve this way, but I will advise you convert to improper fractions. So to change to improper fractions, use 5. Remember, this is 5, please. Okay, so to change to improper fraction, 5 times 10 is 50. 50 plus 2 is 52 over 5. minus 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20 all over 3, and then plus 3. So what is the LCM of 5 and 3? Just like we did, no one number can divide 5 and 3 at the same time. Let's try with 3. 3 cannot divide 5, so we still write 5. 3 can divide 3 to give us 1, and then we use 5. 5 divided 5 is 1, and then 1 here. Take these two numbers, 3 times 5 is 15. So our LCM is 15. So what we're going to do is write 15. So if this first 5 here divides 15, 15 divided by 5, what do we have? 3, because 5 times 2 is 15. Use that 3 to multiply the numerator. Okay, so what are we going to have? 3 times 2, 3 times 2 here is 6, then 3 times 5 is 15. So we have 156. Okay, and then minus, this is minus here. Then we'll do the same thing, 15 divided by 3. So this divided by the next denominator, that is 5. Use that 5, multiply the numerator. Okay, 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. So we have 100 there. All right, now this 3, we can write 3 as a fraction, like 3 over 1 if you want to write 3 as a fraction. So in essence, denominator for 3 is 1. So use 1 to divide 15. 15 divided by 1 gives you 15 too. Use that 15 to multiply the numerator, which in this case is 3. Now remember, 3 is written as 3 over 1. Okay, so 3 times 5, 3 times 5 is 15, carry 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 here, we get 4. So we have 45 here. So we have 156 plus minus 100 plus 45. Okay, so what can we, so 156 minus 100 is 56. 56 plus 45 all over 15, all over 15. So 56 plus 45, 6 plus 5 is 11, carry 1. 5 plus 4, 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 10. So we have 101 over 15. If 101 is divided by 15, let's change it to mixed fraction. Okay, as a rule, anytime you solve and your final answer is an improper fraction, you need to change it to a mixed fraction. So 101 divided by 15, should we try? Okay, let's try 15 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So let's try 15 times 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Write 0, carry 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. We have 90. What about 15 times 7? Okay, 7 times 5 is 35, carry 3. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3, we have 10. So we're looking for 101, we got 105, so this is out of it. So what's the next smaller one? Is this one, because here is times 6 and here is times 7. Times 7 is bigger than 101. Times 6 is 90, which means there's going to be a remainder. 101 minus 90. 1 minus 0 is 1. 10 minus 9 is 1 again. So we have 6 whole number and a remainder of 11 all over 15. So 6 whole number, 11 over 15 is the answer to that question. Okay, so in our next example, let's look at this question. One whole number 3 over 4 minus 1 whole number 3 over 4 minus, in brackets, 2 whole number 1 over 3 plus 4. Okay, so let's solve this. Okay, just like we did, we can change to mixed fraction. But since we have a bracket here, remember board maths, we need to take care of the bracket. So we have 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3, you have 7 over 4 minus in bracket 3 times 2. This 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7 over 3, and then plus 4. So we take care of the bracket first. So the LCM here, remember the denominator is 1, denominator is 3. 3 and 1 is simply 3. If 3 divides 3, you have 1. Multiply 7 by 1, you have 7. Plus, if 1 divides 3, you have 3. Multiply 4 by that 3, you have 12. Okay, so remember this is in bracket minus 7 over 4. So what do we do to continue solving this? We have 7 over 4 minus, so inside the bracket now, 7 plus 12 gives us 19 all over 3. Okay, so we now have a denominator of 4 and 3. Do you remember how to do LCM? 4 and 3, what can divide 4 and 3 at the same time? No number, so we begin with 3. 3 cannot divide 4. See, right? 4, 3 divide 3 is 1, and then we use 4. 4 divided 4, we have 1 and 1. So 3 times 4 is 12. So our LCM here is 12. Okay, so we now divide as usual. If 12 is divided by 4, we have 3 because 4 times 3 is 12. Use that 3 to multiply 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, so when you divide, you multiply the numerator. Okay, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so use that 4, multiply the numerator. Okay, if 4 multiplies 19, 4 times 19, 4 times 9 is 36. Carry 3. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 9 is 36. Okay, carry 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 7. So we have 76. Okay, so minus 76 here. All right, so 21 minus 76. Okay, so all we need to do is to still do 76 minus 21. 76 minus 21, 6 minus 1 is 5, 7 minus 2 is 5. But since 21 is smaller than 76, our answer is going to be negative because the bigger number is negative. So we have negative 55 all over our denominator is 12. So what we can still do is to change this to mixed fraction because it's an improper fraction. I've always said anytime you solve and your answer is improper, you change to mixed fraction. So how many 12s can we find in 55? I know that 12 times 5 is 60. So 60 is immediately bigger than 55. So means that we can try 12 times 4. 12 times 4 is 48. Okay, so instead of getting 55, we have 48. So 4 whole number. Okay, but now we'll look for a remainder. 55 minus 48. Now we borrow 1 here. 15 minus 8. What is 15 minus 8? 7. So 4 whole number, 7 over 12. Okay,